You ever wonder what it's like to stare into someone's eyes and see both a monster and a kid who's just lost? I'm Officer Sarah Kane, and I never thought I'd find myself tangled in a story like this. One that'd shake me to my core, make me question everything I thought I knew about justice, about people, about myself. It all started with a boy named Caleb, barely 19, and the night our paths crossed in a way I'll never forget. Picture this. It's 2 a.m., the kind of cold that creeps into your bones, and I'm patrolling the south side of the city. The streets are quiet, too quiet, like the world's holding its breath. I've been a cop for 6 years, seen my share of chaos, drug busts, bar fights, you name it. But something about that night felt off, like the air was heavier, like trouble was waiting just around the corner. I'm driving slow, headlights cutting through the fog when dispatch crackles through. 10:31, possible break-in at the old warehouse on 47th. Suspect described as young male, dark hoodie, fleeing on foot. My heart kicks up a notch. The warehouse district's a ghost town this time of night, all rusted metal and broken windows. Perfect spot for trouble. I hit the gas, the cruiser's engine growling as I weave through empty streets. By the time I pull up, the place is dead silent. The warehouse looms like a skeleton, its doors gaping open. I grab my flashlight, step out, and the cold hits me like a slap. My boots crunch on gravel as I move toward the entrance, one hand on my holster. "Police!" I call out, my voice echoing off the walls. Nothing. Just the drip of water somewhere deep inside. Then I hear it. A scuffle, like sneakers slipping on concrete. I swing my flashlight, and there he is. A kid, frozen in the beam, eyes wide like a deer caught in headlights. He's young, scrawny, drowning in a hoodie that's too big for him. His hands are up, but there's something in his grip. A crowbar, glinting in the light. "Drop it!" I bark, my gun half drawn. He hesitates, and for a split second I think he's going to bolt. But then the crowbar clatters to the ground, and he's just standing there, breathing hard, staring at me like I'm the one who's dangerous. "Hands behind your head," I say, moving closer. He complies, slow like he's done this before. Up close I can see him better, dark hair plastered to his forehead, a cut on his cheek, and those eyes. God, those eyes. They're not just scared, they're haunted, like he's carrying something heavier than that crowbar ever could be. "What's your name?" I ask, cuffing his wrists. He mutters, "Caleb," voice barely above a whisper. I lead him to the cruiser, my mind racing. He's just a kid, probably breaking in to steal scrap metal or whatever kids think they can pawn these days. But something about him doesn't add up. The way he moves, the way he looks at me, it's not just guilt. It's like he's waiting for the world to crush him. Back at the station, I book him. Breaking and entering, maybe vandalism if the warehouse owner presses charges. Standard stuff. But as I'm filling out the paperwork, I can't shake the image of those eyes. I've seen plenty of criminals, hardened guys who'd spit in your face before they'd talk. Caleb's different. He's quiet, too quiet. And when I ask him why he was there, he just shrugs and says, "Didn't have anywhere else to go." That's when I start digging. I pull his file, and it's a gut punch. Caleb Monroe, 19, no fixed address. A string of minor offences, shoplifting, trespassing, nothing violent, but enough to paint a picture. Foster kid, bounced around since he was 6. Mum died when he was a baby, dad's a ghost. No family, no roots, just a kid who's been running his whole life. I sit back in my chair staring at the screen and something twists in my chest. I've spent years locking people up, but this feels different. The next day I'm back on shift, but Caleb's still on my mind. I find myself driving by the warehouse again, like I'm looking for answers in the broken glass. That's when I notice something. A tag sprayed on the wall, fresh paint still glistening. It's not random graffiti, it's a name. Lila. I don't know why, but it sticks with me like a clue I didn't ask for. I head back to the station and pull Caleb's file again. There's a note from his last foster home. Something about a girl he used to talk about. Lila. No last name, no details, just a mention that he'd get upset when her name came up. I lean back, the pieces starting to click, but not enough to see the whole picture. Who's Lila? Why's her name on that wall? And why can't I let this kid go? A few days later, I get a call. Caleb's out on bail. Some low-rent lawyer got him a deal, but he's got no place to stay. I shouldn't care. He's just another case, right? But I find myself tracking him down, checking the usual spots, shelters, underpasses, anywhere a kid like him might crash. When I find him, he's curled up in an alley, hoodie pulled tight against the rain. He looks smaller than before, like the world's already breaking him. Caleb, I say, crouching down. He flinches, then relaxes when he sees it's me. You can't stay here. He doesn't answer, just stares at the ground. I don't know what makes me do it. Maybe it's those damn eyes, but I hand him my card. You need help. You call me. Don't do anything stupid. He takes it, fingers trembling, and for the first time he looks at me like I'm not just a cop. That night, I can't sleep. I keep thinking about Caleb, about Lila, about the warehouse. I've got a job to do, a life to live, but this kid's story is pulling me in like a current I can't fight. And then, as I'm staring at the ceiling, my phone buzzes. It's a text from an unknown number. Just one word. Help. I'm out of bed in seconds, heart pounding. I know it's him. I don't know how, but I know. And as I grab my keys and head out into the night, one thought keeps screaming in my head. What the hell have I just gotten myself into? I'm driving through the city at 3 a.m. The streets a blur of neon and shadow. My phone clutched in one hand like it's a lifeline. The text from Caleb, help, is burning a hole in my brain. No details, no location, just that one word, and it's enough to have me tearing through the night like I'm chasing a ghost. I try calling the number back, but it goes straight to voicemail. Typical. I slam the steering wheel, frustration boiling over. Come on, kid, give me something, I mutter, scanning the streets for any sign of him. I head to the alley where I found him last, but it's empty, just puddles and trash swirling in the wind. My gut tells me to check the warehouse again. It's a long shot, but it's all I've got. The whole drive, my mind's spinning. Why me? Why'd he text me? I'm a cop, not a social worker. I lock people up, I don't save them. But those eyes, they've got me hooked and I hate it. When I pull up to this warehouse, it's like déjà vu. The same eerie silence, the same cold biting at my skin. I grab my flashlight and step inside, my boots echoing in the cavernous space. Caleb! I call out, my voice sharp. Nothing. I'm about to turn back when I hear it, a low, ragged sob coming from the far corner. I swing my light, and there he is, slumped against the wall, blood streaking down his face. Jesus, I whisper, rushing over. He's a mess. Lip split, eyes swelling shut, shirt torn like he's been through a war. Caleb, what happened? I kneel beside him, checking for worse injuries. He's shaking, clutching his side, and for a second, I think he's not going to answer. Then he chokes out, They found me. Who? I press, my voice low but urgent. He shakes his head, eyes darting like he's expecting someone to jump out of the shadows. Caleb, talk to me. Who did this? He swallows hard, and when he finally speaks, his voice is barely audible. The crew. From the block. They think I snitched. I sit back on my heels, processing. A crew. Probably some low-level gang, the kind that recruits kids like Caleb to do their dirty work. I've seen it before. Young guys get pulled in, thinking it's family, only to end up beaten or worse when things go south. Did you? I ask, keeping my tone neutral. Snitch? His eyes flash with something, anger, maybe hurt. No, he spits. I'd never. But they don't care, they wanted to send a message. He winces, clutching his ribs, and I notice the way his hands are trembling. This kid's not just scared, he's terrified. I pull out my radio, ready to call for backup, but he grabs my wrist, his grip surprisingly strong. No cops, he says, voice cracking. Please, they'll kill me. I hesitate, my thumb hovering over the button. Every instinct screams to follow protocol, call it in, get him to a hospital, let the system handle it. But the look in his eyes stops me. This isn't just about a beating. There's something bigger here. Something he's not telling me. All right, I say, pocketing the radio, but you're coming with me. You need a doctor. He shakes his head, stubborn, but I'm not budging. You want to die out here, Caleb? Because that's what's going to happen if you stay. He glares at me, but there's no fight left in him. After a long moment, he nods and I help him to his feet, his weight leaning heavy against me. In the car, he's silent, staring out the window as the city lights streak by. I take him to a clinic I know, one that doesn't ask too many questions. The doc patches him up, cracked rib, stitches for his lip. Nothing life-threatening, but it's bad enough. I sit in the waiting room, my mind racing. This kid's in deep, and I'm wading into waters I don't fully understand. Gangs, secrets, that name. Leela. It's all connected, I can feel it. When he's done, I drive him to a diner, one of those 24-hour joints with flickering fluorescence and coffee that tastes like regret. We sit in a booth and I push a plate of fries toward him. Eat, I say, then talk. He picks at the food, avoiding my eyes. I lean forward, lowering my voice. Caleb, I can't help you if you don't tell me what's going on. Who's Leela? His hand freezes, a fry halfway to his mouth. For a second, I think he's going to shut down again, but then he sets it down and looks at me. Really looks at me. She was my sister, he says, voice so soft I barely catch it. Foster sister, I mean. We were close. She's the only one who ever got me. Was. The word hits like a punch. What happened to her? I ask, dreading the answer. His jaw tightens, and when he speaks, it's like he's forcing the words out. She's gone. Last year. Overdose. But it wasn't an accident. His eyes meet mine, and there's a fire there now. A rage I hadn't seen before. They killed her. The crew. They got her hooked, used her, and when she tried to get out... He trails off, his hands balling into fists. I sit back, the weight of it settling over me. A dead sister, a gang, a kid caught in the middle. This is bigger than a break-in, bigger than Caleb. Why didn't you go to the cops? I ask, though I already know the answer. He laughs, a bitter sound. Cops don't care about kids like us. You lock us up, you move on. Lila deserved better than that. I want to argue, to tell him he's wrong, but the words stick in my throat. I've seen the system fail kids like Caleb too many times to lie to his face. Instead, I say, I'm here now. I'm listening. What do you need? He looks at me, searching my face like he's trying to decide if I'm for real. Then he leans in, voice low. I need to take them down. The crew. They're still out there, hurting people. I can't let them win. I should say no. I should tell him to stay out of it, let the law handle it. But the truth is, I'm already in too deep. Those eyes, that name, this story, it's got me. Okay, I say, my voice steady. But we do this my way. No more running, no more hiding. You trust me, I'll trust you. He nods, and for the first time, I see something like hope in his face. As we leave the diner, the sun's starting to rise, painting the sky in shades of grey and gold. I don't know what's coming, but I know one thing. This kid's not just a case anymore. He's my responsibility. And whatever's waiting for us, I'm not letting him face it alone. The next week is a blur, like I'm living two lives at once. By day, I'm Officer Sarah Kane, patrolling the streets, writing reports, keeping the city's pulse in check. By night, I'm something else. Part cop, part vigilante, chasing shadows with a kid who's got more ghosts than I can count. Caleb's staying at a safe house I hooked him up with, a rundown motel where the owner owes me a favour. It's not much, but it's better than the streets. We meet in secret, piecing together what we know about the crew. Caleb's got names, places, patterns, stuff he picked up running errands for them before he realised what they were really about. They're small-time but vicious, dealing in pills and powder, preying on kids who've got nowhere else to go. Lila was one of their runners, he tells me, her smile fading a little more with every job. When she tried to quit, they made sure she'd never talk. I'm digging too, using my access at the station to pull records, cross-reference names. The crew's got a front. A dive bar called the Rusty Anchor, where deals go down in the back room. I've driven by it 100 times, never thought twice. Now it's all I can think about. Caleb wants to storm in, play hero, but I shut that down fast. You go in there, you're dead, I tell him. We need proof, something solid to bring them down for good. He hates it, but he listens. We start small, staking out the bar from my car, parked just out of sight. Caleb's got a knack for spotting patterns. Who comes, who goes, who's carrying. I'm impressed, though I don't tell him that. He's still a kid, still reckless, but there's a sharpness to him like he's been surviving on instinct his whole life. One night, we get lucky. A guy Caleb recognizes, Darius, one of the crew's enforcers, steps out of the bar, a duffel bag slung over his shoulder. We follow him, keeping our distance, until he ducks into an alley. I park, and we creep closer, staying low. Through a crack in a boarded-up window, we see him unloading. Bags of pills, stacks of cash, all spread out on a table. My heart's pounding. This is it? The kind of evidence that could crack the whole operation. I pull out my phone, start recording, but Caleb's tense beside me, his breath uneven. "That's him," he whispers, voice shaking. "The one who got Lila." I glance at him, see the rage in his eyes, and I know what he's thinking. "Don't," I hiss, grabbing his arm. "Not now." But it's too late. He's already moving, picking up a brick from the ground like he's going to charge in. I yank him back hard, pinning him against the wall. "You want revenge or you want justice?" I whisper, my face inches from his. "You do this. Lila's death means nothing. We do it right. They all go down." He's trembling, tears streaking his face, but he nods, dropping the brick. I let him go, my own heart racing. That was too close. We get the footage, slip away before anyone spots us. Back at the safe house, I upload the video. Send it to a contact in narcotics I trust. It's not enough to take the whole crew down, but it's a start. Caleb's quiet, staring at the floor, and I know he's replaying that moment in the alley. "You did good," I tell him, trying to sound convincing. "You kept it together." He doesn't respond, but I see his shoulders relax, just a fraction. The next day, things go sideways. I'm at the station when I get a call from the motel owner. Caleb's gone. No note, no trace, just an empty room. My stomach drops. I tear through the city, checking every spot we've been, but he's vanished. I'm cursing myself, should have watched him closer, should have known he'd run. Then my phone buzzes. Another text. Same number. "Rusty Anchor tonight, come alone." It's a trap, I know it, but it's Caleb. And I'm not letting him go down like this. I grab my gun, my badge, and head out, the city closing in around me like a cage. The bar's a squat, ugly building, its neon sign buzzing faintly. I step inside, the air thick with smoke and sweat. The place is half empty, but I feel eyes on me like the walls themselves are watching. "Caleb!" I call, my voice cutting through the low hum of conversation. No answer. I move toward the back, hand on my holster, when a figure steps out of the shadows. It's Darius, all muscle and menace, a smirk on his face. "Looking for your boy?" he says, voice dripping with mock concern. He's a little tied up. My blood runs cold, but I keep my face stone. "Where is he?" I demand. Darius laughs, stepping closer. "You're in over your head, cop. Should have stayed in your lane." I'm about to respond when I hear it. A muffled shout from the back room. "Caleb, I don't think." I shove past Darius, ignoring his laughter, and kick the door open. Caleb's there, tied to a chair, blood dripping from his nose. His eyes meet mine, wide with fear, but there's something else. Trust. He believes I'll get him out, and in that moment, I know I will. Or I'll die trying. The back room of the Rusty Anchor smells like stale beer and desperation. Caleb's tied to a chair, his face a mess of bruises, but he's alive, and that's all that matters. Darius is behind me, his presence like a storm cloud, but I don't turn around. My focus is on Caleb, on the way his chest rises and falls, on the defiance still burning in his eyes, despite everything. "Untie him," I say, my voice low, steady, like I'm not staring down a room full of trouble. Darius chuckles, a sound that grates on my nerves. "You don't give orders here, cop." I hear the click of a gun, feel the cold press of metal against the back of my head. My heart skips, but I don't flinch. I've been in worse spots than this. Not many, but enough. "Caleb," I say, keeping my eyes on him. "You okay?" He nods, barely, his lips trembling. "Good. Stay calm." I'm talking to him, but I'm also talking to myself, trying to keep the panic at bay. I need a plan, and I need it fast. Darius steps around me, gun still trained, his smirk wider now. You're a long way from your precinct, Kane. What's a nice cop like you doing in a place like this? He's enjoying this, the power, the control. I hate guys like him, bullies who think they're untouchable. But I'm not here to play hero. I'm here for Caleb. Let the kid go, I say, my voice firm. This doesn't have to get messy. Darius laughs again, louder this time, and I hear movement behind me, more of his crew closing in. I'm outnumbered, outgunned, and out of time. But I've got one thing they don't. I'm not afraid to die for this. You think you can just walk in here and save him? Darius says, stepping closer. The gun now inches from my face. You don't know what you're messing with. This kid's been a problem for too long. Snitching, running his mouth about Lila. He's done. He didn't snitch, I say, my voice cutting through his. And Lila, that's on you and your crew. You think you're untouchable, but I've got enough on you to bury you all. It's a bluff, mostly. The video we got is good, but not airtight. Still, I see a flicker of doubt in Darius's eyes, and that's all I need. I move fast, grabbing his wrist, twisting the gun away. It fires, the sound deafening, but the bullet hits the ceiling. Chaos erupts. Shouts. Footsteps, the scrape of chairs. I slam Darius against the wall, my forearm on his throat, but someone grabs me from behind, yanking me back. I fight, kicking, elbowing, but there's too many. A fist connects with my jaw and I taste blood. Caleb's screaming now, thrashing against the ropes. Sarah! He yells, and it's the first time he's used my name. It's like a jolt, snapping me back. I headbutt the guy holding me, feel his grip loosen, and dive for the gun on the floor. My fingers close around it just as Darius lunges. I fire, not to kill, just to stop, and he drops, clutching his leg, cursing. The room freezes. The crew hesitates, unsure now that their boss is down. I stand, gun steady, blood dripping from my lip. Anyone else? I say, my voice raw. They back off, hands up. And I know I've got seconds before they regroup. I rush to Caleb, cutting the ropes with my pocket knife. Can you walk? I ask. He nods, shaky but determined. We stumble out, my arm around him, the gun still in my hand. The bar's empty now, the patrons long gone. Outside, the night air hits like a slap, but I don't stop. We make it to my car and I peel out, the tires screaming against the pavement. Caleb's breathing hard, clutching his side, but he's alive. We're alive. I drive to the safe house, my mind a mess of adrenaline and fear. Inside, I check Caleb's injuries. Nothing new, just the old ones reopened. He's quiet, staring at the floor, and I know what he's thinking. This is my fault, he says finally, voice breaking. You could have died. I kneel in front of him, forcing him to meet my eyes. You listen to me, Caleb. None of this is your fault. You're a kid who got dealt a shitty hand, but you're still here, still fighting. That's what matters. He doesn't respond, but I see the tears, the way his shoulders shake. I pull him into a hug, and for once, he doesn't pull away. The next few days, we lay low. I call in favors, get the video to the right people. The crew's done, raids, arrests, the whole operation dismantled. Darius is in custody, singing like a bird to save his own skin. It's not perfect justice, but it's close enough. Lila's name is on every report, her story finally told. Caleb's different now, quieter but stronger. He's got a shot at a new start. A job, a place to stay, people who care. I visit when I can, bring him coffee, make sure he's eating. He doesn't talk much about that night, but he doesn't have to. I see it in the way he carries himself, the way he smiles sometimes, like he's finally starting to believe he's worth saving. As for me, I'm still out there patrolling the streets, keeping the city's pulse in check. But I'm not the same cop I was. Caleb changed that, showed me what it means to fight for someone, not just against something. And every time I drive by that warehouse, I think of him, of Lila, of the night we stared into the dark and came out the other side. So what's the takeaway? Maybe it's that justice isn't just a badge or a gun. It's the choices we make, the people we choose to see. Caleb was a criminal, sure, but he was also a kid who needed someone to believe in him. And me? I'm just a cop who learned that sometimes the hardest cases are the ones that break your heart. and make you whole. The city's heartbeat is a low, relentless thrum, and tonight it's pounding in my ears as I stand outside the Rusty Anchor, the dive bar that's become the center of my world. My name's Sarah Kane. And I'm a cop, but right now, I feel like something else, something raw, something desperate. Caleb's in there, the kid who's turned my life upside down. And I know this is a trap, but it's my trap too because I'm not walking away. Not tonight. Not ever. The neon sign above the bar buzzes like a dying insect, casting a sickly glow over the cracked pavement. My phone's still burning in my pocket, that single text from Caleb, Rusty Anchor, tonight, come alone, looping in my head like a warning I can't ignore. I check my gun, the weight of it steady in my hand, and take a breath. The air tastes like asphalt and regret. I've been a cop for 6 years, faced down drunks and dealers. But this feels like stepping into a storm with no way out. Inside, the bar is a haze of smoke and dim light, the kind of place where dreams go to die. A few regulars slump over their drinks, too far gone to notice me. The jukebox hums a mournful tune, and the bartender glances up, his eyes narrowing. I don't flinch. My badge a silent shield as I scan the room. No Caleb. No Darius. Just the weight of eyes on my back, like the whole place knows I don't belong. Caleb! I call, my voice slicing through the low murmur. The word hangs in the air, unanswered, but I feel the shift, the way heads turn, the way the air tightens. I move toward the back, where a heavy door looms, its paint chipped and peeling. My hands on my holster, my pulse a steady drum. I'm almost there when a shadow steps into my path. Darius, all muscle and menace, his smirk sharp enough to cut glass. "Looking for your boy," he says, his voice low, taunting. "He's a little tied up." The words hit like a punch, but I keep my face stone, my eyes locked on his. Darius is the crew's enforcer, the one Caleb said got Lila, his foster sister, hooked, used, and killed. I've seen his type before, power-hungry, cruel, the kind of guy who thrives on fear. But I'm not afraid. Not yet. "Where is he?" I demand, my voice steady despite the storm in my chest. Darius laughs, a sound that crawls under my skin and steps closer, his bulk filling the space between us. "You're in over your head, cop. Should have stayed in your lane." I hear movement behind me, more of his crew circling like wolves. My fingers twitch toward my gun, but I hold back. Not yet. Then I hear it. A muffled shout from beyond the door, raw and desperate. "Caleb!" My heart lurches, and I shove past Darius, ignoring his laughter. The door's locked, but I kick it hard, wood splintering under my boot. It gives way, and I'm through. The room beyond a blur of shadows and stench. Stale beer, sweat, and something sharper, like blood. Caleb's there, tied to a chair in the center of the room, his face a map of bruises and cuts. His hoodie's torn, blood staining the fabric, but his eyes, those haunted, burning eyes, meet mine, wide with fear and something else. Trust. He believes I'll get him out, and that belief is a weight I can't shake. "Sarah!" He chokes, his voice cracking, and it's the first time he's said my name like that, like I'm his lifeline. "Hold on," I say, my voice low, urgent, as I step toward him, but Darius is behind me now, his presence a storm cloud, and I hear the unmistakable click of a gun. Cold metal presses against the back of my head, and my breath catches. "Move, and you're done," he says, his voice a growl. My mind races, every instinct screaming to fight, to run, but I know one wrong move and we're both dead. "Caleb, look at me," I say, keeping my eyes on him, trying to anchor us both. "You're gonna be okay." He nods, barely, his lips trembling, but there's a fire in his gaze, a defiance that keeps me grounded. I need to buy time, need to think. "Darius," I say, my voice calm, deliberate. "Let him go. This doesn't have to end bad." He laughs again, the sound jagged, and the gun presses harder against my skull. "You think you're calling the shots? This kid's been a thorn in my side too long. Snitching, running his mouth about Lila. He's done." The mention of Lila twists something in my gut. I know the truth. Caleb didn't snitch, and Lila's death is on Darius, on this crew that preys on kids like vultures. He didn't snitch, I say, my voice cutting through his. And Lila, that's on you. You got her hooked, used her, killed her when she tried to get out. I've got enough on you to bury you all. It's a half bluff. The video we got is good, but not perfect. Still, I see a flicker in Darius's eyes, a crack in his armor, and I lean into it. You think I came here alone? You think I don't have backup waiting? He hesitates just for a second, and that's my opening. I spin, grabbing his wrist, twisting the gun away. It fires, the sound deafening, the bullet burying itself in the ceiling. Plaster rains down as chaos erupts, shouts, footsteps, the scrape of metal. I slam Darius against the wall, my forearm on his throat, but someone grabs me from behind, yanking me back. I fight, kicking, elbowing, but there's too many. A fist connects with my jaw and I taste blood, hot and metallic. Caleb's screaming now, thrashing against the ropes, his voice raw with panic. Sarah! No! It's like a jolt, snapping me back. I headbutt the guy holding me, feel his grip loosen, and dive for the gun on the floor. My fingers close around it just as Darius lunges, his face a mask of rage. I fire. Not to kill, just to stop, and he drops, clutching his leg, his curses filling the air. The room freezes. The crew, 3 guys, all muscle and ink, hesitate, their eyes darting between me and Darius, who's writhing on the floor. I stand, gun steady, blood dripping from my lip. Anyone else? I say, my voice raw, daring them to move. They don't. They're not loyal enough to die for this. I rush to Caleb, my knife flashing as I cut the ropes. His wrists are raw, bloodied, and he winces as I help him up. Can you walk? I ask, my voice urgent. He nods, shaky, but determined, leaning on me as we stumble toward the door. The crew watches, silent now, and I keep the gun trained on them, my heart pounding like a war drum. We're almost out when I hear it. A low groan from Darius, followed by words that stop me cold. You think this is over? He spits, his voice thick with pain. You think you've won? Ask your boy what he didn't tell you. I freeze, my grip tightening on Caleb's arm. He's trembling, his breath uneven, and when I look at him, his eyes are wide, guilty. What's he talking about? I ask, my voice low, urgent. Caleb shakes his head, but there's something in his face, something he's been hiding. Caleb, talk to me. He swallows hard, his voice barely a whisper. I didn't tell you everything. About Lila. My stomach drops, but there's no time. Darius is laughing now, a sick, guttural sound. Go on, kid. Tell her how you helped us. Shut up! Caleb snaps, his voice breaking, and I see the tears in his eyes, the shame. I want to press him, to demand answers, but the crew's stirring, and I know we're out of time. Later, I say, pulling him toward the door. We're getting out of here. We burst into the bar, the air thick with smoke and silence. The regulars are gone, the bartender nowhere in sight. Outside, the night hits like a slap, cold and sharp, but I don't stop. We make it to my car, and I shove Caleb into the passenger seat, my hands shaking as I start the engine. The tires scream as I peel out, the bar shrinking in the rearview mirror. Caleb's silent, curled against the window, his breath fogging the glass. I want to scream, to shake him, to demand what he's been hiding, but I focus on the road, on getting us somewhere safe. My jaw throbs, my knuckles are bruised, and the weight of Darius's words sits heavy in my chest. What didn't Caleb tell me? What did he do? I take us to the safe house, a rundown motel on the edge of town. Inside, I check Caleb's injuries. Nothing new, just the old ones reopened, his face a canvas of pain. He's quiet, staring at the floor, and I know he's waiting for me to ask. I sit across from him, my voice soft but firm. Caleb, what did Darius mean? What happened with Lila? He doesn't look at me, his hands twisting in his lap. When he speaks, his voice is barely audible, like he's pulling the words from a wound. I didn't know what they were doing. Not at first. Lila was already in deep, running for them, and I helped her. Dropped off packages. Kept watch. I thought I was protecting her. He swallows, tears streaking his face. But then she wanted out, and I told Darius. I thought he'd let her go. I didn't know. The words hit like a tidal wave. He didn't just lose Lila. He blames himself for her death. I lean back, my mind reeling. Part of me wants to yell, to tell him he should have told me, but I see the guilt in his eyes, the way it's eating him alive. He's just a kid caught in a world that never gave him a chance. Caleb, I say, my voice steady despite the ache in my chest. You were a kid. You didn't know. What happened to Lila? It's on them, not you. He shakes his head, tears falling faster now. I should have saved her. I should have... His voice breaks, and he's sobbing, his whole body shaking. I move to him, pulling him into a hug, his tears soaking my shirt. You're here now, I say. You're fighting for her now. That's what matters. We sit like that for a long time, the weight of his confessions settling over us. I'm angry, yeah, but not at him. Not really. I'm angry at the crew, at the system, at a world that lets kids like Caleb and Lila fall through the cracks. When he finally pulls away, his eyes are red but clearer, like he's let go of something heavy. The next morning, I call in every favour I've got. The video we recorded, the evidence from the bar. It's enough to spark a raid. By noon, the precinct's buzzing, and by nightfall, the crew's done. Darius and his men are in cuffs, the bar's a crime scene, and Lila's name is on every report, her story finally told. It's not perfect justice, but it's close. As I drive Caleb to a new safe house, the city's lights blur past, a reminder that this fight's never over. He's quiet, but there's a strength in him now, a purpose. And me? I'm still a cop, still out here chasing shadows, but I'm also something more, someone who sees the kids like Caleb, who fights for them when no one else will. And as long as I've got breath in me, that's not going to change.